We turn now to look at this 70th anniversary of an event that reshaped the Middle East.
In this exploration, we traverse pivotal moments in history marked by coups, a phenomenon where power shifts dramatically, often overnight. These 10 carefully selected historical coups encapsulate significant transformations that had profound impacts on their respective regions and the world. Each chapter delves into the intricate details and backgrounds that led to these shifts, offering viewers an understanding of how coups have continually reshaped the landscape of global politics and societies. Number 1. The overthrow of Julius Caesar, 44 BC. The political landscape of ancient Rome was forever altered on the Ides of March in 44 BC, when Julius Caesar, a statesman and general who had risen to power with unprecedented momentum, was brutally assassinated in a coup that marked the end of the Roman Republic. Julius Caesar was a formidable figure in Roman history, having expanded the Roman Empire significantly and instituted a range of reforms that centralized power and improved the state's bureaucracy. His ascent to power, however, was viewed with disdain by a faction of senators who saw his rule as a threat to the Republic's foundations. The conspiracy to kill Caesar was masterminded by a group of senators, led by Gaius Cassius and Marcus Junius Brutus. They feared that Caesar's increasing power and recent appointment as dictator perpetuo, dictator in perpetuity, posed a mortal threat to the Republic's oligarchic government. Caesar's populist policies and reforms had won him the love and support of the masses, but his authoritarian tendencies were unsettling to the entrenched nobility, who saw in him a potential king, an anathema to the Roman Republic's principles. Caesar's assassination was a carefully orchestrated act of political violence. On that fateful day, as Caesar attended a Senate meeting at the theater of Pompeii, he was surrounded and attacked by a group of senators. Armed with daggers concealed in their robes, they stabbed him 23 times, leaving him to die at the base of Pompey's statue, a stark symbol of the violent end of Caesar's ambition and rule. This brutal act was carried out under the guise of saving the Republic, but it only thrust Rome into a vortex of power struggles and civil wars, proving to be a prelude to the eventual rise of the Roman Empire under Augustus, Caesar's adopted son and heir. In the wake of Caesar's death, Rome was engulfed in a series of brutal power struggles. The conspirators initially held power, but they were soon challenged by Mark Antony, a close ally and friend of Caesar, and Octavian, Caesar's adopted heir. The subsequent power struggles culminated in the formation of the Second Triumvirate, a political alliance that sought to avenge Caesar's death and establish control over Rome. The assassination of Julius Caesar stands as a monumental moment in history, a vivid display of political intrigue, betrayal, and the brutal struggle for power. It signifies the complexities of political ambition, the fragility of democratic structures under authoritarian pressure, and the unpredictable nature of political alliances. Through the coup that ended Caesar's life, the world witnessed the end of an era and the birth of a new imperial Rome, a transformation that would change the trajectory of Western civilization for centuries to come. Number 2. The Abbasid Revolution, 750 AD. In the sands of time, amidst a sprawling and ever-changing geopolitical landscape, the Abbasid Revolution in 750 AD stands as a significant turning point in Islamic and world history. This event marked the overthrow of the Umayyad dynasty, bringing to the fore a new epoch characterized by advances in science, technology, and cultural prosperity, significantly influencing the course of human civilization. The roots of the Abbasid Revolution were nestled in the widespread dissatisfaction with the Umayyad rule, which had by then evolved into an epitome of extravagance and tyranny. The Umayyads had established an empire that spanned vast territories, but their reign was marked by economic disparities and religious discrimination, particularly against non-Arab Muslims. The burgeoning resentment against their divisive rule catalyzed an environment ripe for revolution. In the intricate web of political unrest, the Hashemiyya movement, a faction loyal to the family of the Prophet Muhammad, particularly the descendants of his uncle Abbas ibn Abd al-Muttalib, began to consolidate power, nurturing aspirations to overthrow the Umayyad dynasty. As the political tides shifted, the Abbasid forces under the leadership of Abu Muslim marshaled a multi-ethnic coalition that represented the simmering discontent among the masses. The movement gained momentum and culminated in a decisive confrontation at the Battle of the Zab in 750 AD. The Umayyad forces met a crushing defeat, with their last caliph Marwan II meeting a grim end. This marked the unequivocal end of the Umayyad dynasty, a regime that had been characterized by aristocratic excesses and sectarian divisions. The establishment of the Abbasid Caliphate ushered in an era of unprecedented intellectual and cultural florescence, famously known as the Islamic Golden Age. The new rulers shifted the capital to Baghdad, a city that would soon metamorphose into a vibrant hub of knowledge, a rendezvous of scholars and intellectuals from various parts of the world. The Abbasids were keen patrons of arts and sciences, fostering an environment where intellectual pursuits were encouraged and revered. Through a policy of inclusivity and a focus on the assimilation of various cultures within the empire, the Abbasids managed to knit a fabric of society where innovation and progress were at the forefront. Their reign saw remarkable advancements in various fields, including astronomy, medicine, and mathematics, leaving an indelible imprint on human history. In hindsight, the Abbasid Revolution is not merely a shift in power from one dynasty to another. It stands as a testament to the transformational potential of collective dissent against tyranny, a beacon of hope that led to an era where knowledge was cherished and humanity flourished, shaping the contours of the modern world in more ways than one. Number 3. The Fall of Constantinople, 1453. In the annals of world history, the fall of Constantinople in 1453 is recorded as a monumental event that not only marked the end of the Byzantine Empire, but also significantly altered the socio-political landscape of southeastern Europe and the Middle East. The city, a vibrant metropolis and a nexus of trade and culture, had been the bastion of Christianity and a beacon of Eastern Roman civilization for more than a millennium. Its fall to the Ottoman Turks heralded the rise of a new power in the region and signaled the end of the Middle Ages. Under the command of the young and ambitious Sultan Mehmed II, the Ottoman forces besieged the city with a meticulously orchestrated military campaign. Harnessing the might of formidable weaponry, including the colossal cannons created by Hungarian engineer Urban, the Ottomans launched an assault that shook the very foundations of the great city. Constantinople, which had withstood numerous sieges over centuries, found itself under an unprecedented onslaught. Its formidable walls, which had protected it for ages, crumbled under the relentless bombardment. The city's last Byzantine emperor, Constantine the XVII Palaiologos, fought valiantly alongside his men, but the odds were overwhelmingly in favor of the well-prepared Ottoman forces. After a siege that lasted for 53 days, the city eventually fell, marking a definitive end to an empire that had spanned over 1,000 years. Constantine VII, according to chroniclers of the time, died fighting on the walls, becoming a martyr and a symbol of the end of an era. With the capture of Constantinople, a new epoch unfolded, marked by the consolidation of Ottoman power and expansion into southeastern Europe. The city, renamed Istanbul, became the thriving capital of the Ottoman Empire, a dynamic junction of trade, culture, and politics. Sultan Mehmed II embarked on an ambitious project to rejuvenate the city, fostering a fusion of Islamic and Byzantine traditions, which would influence the development of art, architecture, and culture for centuries to come. The fall of Constantinople had a ripple effect that transcended beyond the borders of the empire. It alarmed the Christian nations of Europe, altering the geopolitical dynamics considerably. Moreover, it facilitated the Turkish control over the Silk Road, disrupting trade routes and prompting European powers to seek new paths to the east, thus catalyzing the age of exploration. This historic event, therefore, stands as a pivotal juncture, a collision of two worlds and civilizations, paving the way for the emergence of the modern age. The conquest of Constantinople by the Ottomans is more than just a military victory. It is a testament to the inexorable march of history, where empires rise and fall, giving birth to new orders and paradigms that shape the course of human destiny. Number 4. The Glorious Revolution, 1688. The epic of the Glorious Revolution in 1688 marks a significant watershed in the annals of British history, steering the nation on a course that laid the foundations for modern parliamentary democracy. Amid the swirling tensions of religious and political strife, this relatively bloodless revolution unfolded on the British Isles, bringing a profound shift in the locus of power, moving it away from the monarchy towards a constitutional framework where the Parliament assumed a pivotal role. At the core of this revolution was the uneasy reign of James II, whose overt Catholic sympathies and autocratic tendencies had fostered an environment of discontent and mistrust among the Protestant majority. His attempts to increase Catholic influence within governmental and military circles were viewed with increasing alarm, crystallizing a fear that a Catholic dynasty was being established, potentially aligning England more closely with France, its historical rival. In this atmosphere of escalating tensions, the Protestant nobles invited William of Orange, a staunch Protestant and the husband of James II's daughter Mary, to intervene. Seizing this invitation as a golden opportunity, William amassed a formidable fleet and sailed across the English Channel. In November 1688, he landed on English soil with a well-equipped army, ready to usher in a new era. Remarkably, James II's rule crumbled swiftly and with minimal resistance as his army and navy deserted him, and key fortresses opened their gates to the invading forces. James II fled to France, marking the end of his reign and paving the way for William and Mary to ascend the throne as joint sovereigns. Their coronation heralded the inception of a constitutional monarchy, governed by laws enacted by Parliament. The revolution brought forth the Bill of Rights in 1689, a historic document that laid down the principles of parliamentary governance, limiting the powers of the monarchy and ensuring the protection of individual rights. It established that no laws could be suspended or enacted without the consent of Parliament, effectively putting an end to the divine right of kings. The Glorious Revolution stands as a beacon of transformation that resonated deeply within the British society and beyond. It influenced the development of political thought, inspiring philosophies that championed liberty, sovereignty of the Parliament, and the separation of powers, principles that would later reverberate in the drafting of the United States Constitution. Through a relatively peaceful transfer of power, the Glorious Revolution nurtured a legacy that has shaped the contours of modern democratic governance, underscoring the imperative of balance and harmony between the rulers and the ruled, a concept that continues to guide the ethos of democracies worldwide. Number 5. The French Revolution, 1789. The dawn of the French Revolution in 1789 marked a turbulent period that dramatically altered the trajectory of French and global history. It emerged from the simmering discontent that had enveloped France, a nation burdened by financial crises, widespread famine, and stark social inequalities. The populace, weary of the excesses of the Bourbon monarchy and the aristocracy, began to clamor for fundamental changes, igniting a series of events that would shake the very foundations of the French society. The revolution was fueled by the Enlightenment ideas that championed liberty, equality, and fraternity. These ideologies began to permeate the masses, galvanizing them to challenge the entrenched feudal structures and demand more egalitarian policies. The National Assembly, representing the common citizens, emerged as a formidable force, attempting to dismantle the age-old structures that propagated privilege and inequality. The storming of the Bastille on July 14, 1789, stands as an emblematic event of the revolution, symbolizing the end of the monarchy's absolute power. This fortified prison, which once incarcerated those who opposed royal decrees, fell to an enraged mob, signaling the burgeoning power of the populace in shaping the nation's destiny. In the years that followed, France found itself engulfed in a whirlpool of radical reforms and violent upheavals, as various factions vied for control and influence. The revolution saw the rise and fall of various governments, each attempting to imprint their vision on the French society. The Reign of Terror, characterized by the guillotine's gruesome dance, manifested the extreme measures undertaken to quell opposition and establish a republic. The execution of King Louis XVI marked the unequivocal end of the Bourbon monarchy, as the revolutionaries attempted to forge a new society, grounded in the principles of liberty and equality. Despite its tumultuous course, the French Revolution stands as a seminal event in human history, profoundly influencing political ideologies and movements globally. It dismantled the archaic social hierarchy, replacing it with a society where merit and talent were recognized as the basis for ascension. The revolutionary fervor transcended boundaries, igniting sparks of change and inspiring future revolutions that sought to overthrow oppressive regimes. Through its chaotic yet transformative journey, the French Revolution became a beacon of the eternal quest for freedom, justice, and equality, leaving an indelible mark on the tapestry of human civilization. Number 6. The Xinhai Revolution, 1911. In the sprawling narrative of global transformations, the Xinhai Revolution emerges as a pivotal event in the early 20th century, marking the end of over 2 millennia of imperial rule in China. In 1911, the tumultuous currents of change surged through the vast expanses of the Chinese Empire, shaking loose the moorings of the Qing dynasty, a regime that had presided over the Middle Kingdom for almost 3 centuries. The unrest was a culmination of years of growing disillusionment with the imperial administration, which was perceived as corrupt and inept, unable to modernize the nation or protect it from foreign encroachments. The populace, burdened by heavy taxes and witnessing a stark contrast between their traditional ways and the progress in other parts of the world, began to clamor for reform. Intellectuals and revolutionaries, inspired by the winds of change sweeping across the globe, envisioned a new era for China, one that embraced republicanism and modernization. The Wuchang Uprising on October 10, 1911, marked the spark that ignited the revolutionary fervor across the nation. A series of revolts and uprisings rapidly spread, gathering momentum and engulfing provinces in a quest to overthrow the Qing dynasty. The revolutionaries, unified under the banner of the Tongmenghui, a coalition of anti-Qing groups, mobilized forces with a singular goal: to bring an end to the monarchy and pave the way for a democratic republic. The Xinhai Revolution stands as a monumental shift in Chinese history, a period of seismic change that redefined the nation's trajectory. It attempted to integrate modern concepts of nationalism, democracy, and people's rights into the Chinese societal fabric. Though the nascent republic faced numerous challenges, including power struggles and regional warlordism, the revolution laid the groundwork for further reforms and struggles that would eventually shape modern China. By breaking the shackles of an age-old monarchy, the Xinhai Revolution illuminated the path for a new China, a nation in pursuit of modernity and progress, striving to reclaim its position as a global power. It marks a significant chapter in the global narrative of revolutions, a testament to the indefatigable spirit of change and the undying quest for freedom and self-determination, etching an unforgettable mark in the annals of history. Number 7. The Russian Revolution, 1917. As the year 1917 dawned upon the expansive terrains of Russia, the air was thick with the scent of imminent change, an undercurrent of revolt simmering in the hearts of a populace long suppressed under the Tsarist regime. The Russian Revolution, a series of interconnected upheavals, emerged as a cataclysmic event that sought to overturn centuries of autocratic rule and pave the way for the establishment of a communist government, forever altering the geopolitical landscape of the 20th century. The revolution unfolded in 2 key phases, beginning with the February Revolution, which saw the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II, bringing an end to the Romanov dynasty that had ruled Russia for over 3 centuries. The provisional government that stepped in faced an enormous task of steering a nation embroiled in World War I and simmering with deep-seated discontent. The masses were disillusioned with the ineffectual governance, rampant corruption, and the immense socio-economic disparities that marked the Tsarist regime. Just a few months later, the October Revolution, led by the Bolshevik Party under the stewardship of Vladimir Lenin, seized the moment to further propel the wave of change. This orchestrated coup, buoyed by the support of the working class and the soldiers, succeeded in overthrowing the provisional government, firmly planting the seeds of communism in Russian soil. Lenin's charismatic leadership and the promise of peace, land, and bread resonated deeply with a populace weary of war and economic hardships. The Russian Revolution thus stands as a monumental chapter in the annals of human history, embodying the intense struggle for societal transformation and the pursuit of ideological utopia. Its impacts reverberated far beyond the borders of Russia, igniting debates on governance, equality, and the role of the state in shaping the destiny of its citizens. Through its turbulent course, the revolution gave birth to the Soviet Union, a superpower that would come to play a pivotal role in the global narrative, heralding an era marked by ideological confrontations and a reshaped world order, forever imprinted with the echoes of the revolution that dared to redefine the norms of society and governance. Number 8. The Spanish Civil War and Franco's coup, 1936. In the crucible of 20th century conflicts, the Spanish Civil War emerges as a precursor to the ideological battles that would engulf the world in the ensuing years. Beginning in 1936, this intense conflict was not just a war between compatriots, but a clash of ideologies that reverberated across borders, drawing international attention and involvement. At the center of this maelstrom was Francisco Franco's coup, a pivotal moment that precipitated a civil war and ultimately transformed the political landscape of Spain. Franco's coup marked the ignition of a brutal and protracted civil war, characterized by atrocities and violence from both sides. The nation was torn asunder, families were split, and communities were embroiled in a vicious cycle of reprisals and counter-reprisals. The war attracted international attention, with nations taking sides and providing support, a testament to the ideological schisms that were beginning to define global politics at the time. The conflict saw the deployment of modern military techniques and propaganda, reflecting the evolving nature of warfare in the 20th century. As the war raged on, Franco's forces gradually gained the upper hand, bolstered by superior military organization and assistance from fascist allies, Nazi Germany and fascist Italy. After nearly 3 years of relentless fighting, the Republicans faced defeat, unable to withstand the sustained onslaught from the nationalist forces. In 1939, Franco's forces seized control of Madrid, marking the end of the Civil War and the beginning of Franco's dictatorship, which would last until his death in 1975. Under Franco's rule, Spain underwent a period of authoritarian governance, characterized by suppression of dissent, censorship, and an emphasis on conservative nationalist values. The Spanish Civil War and Franco's coup stand as critical moments in Spanish history, marking a period of intense strife and transformation. The conflict not only reshaped Spain, but also served as a harbinger of the larger ideological conflicts that would engulf the world during World War II. Through the lens of history, it offers a grim testament to the destructive potential of ideological divides and the profound impact such conflicts can have on a nation and its people, leaving scars that linger for generations. Number 9. The Iranian coup, 1953. In the landscape of 20th century geopolitics, the 1953 Iranian coup stands as a significant chapter where international intrigue and power dynamics intersected to alter the trajectory of a nation teetering on the edge of revolutionary transformation. A crucial flashpoint in the Cold War narrative, the coup, known as Operation Ajax, saw the orchestrated overthrow of Iran's democratically elected Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, a move engineered by the United States and the United Kingdom, seeking to secure their interests in the oil-rich region. The Shah's reign, which lasted until 1979, was marked by autocratic rule, bolstered by Western support. It was a period characterized by rapid modernization, but also by suppression of political freedoms, widespread corruption, and economic disparities. This period planted the seeds for the Islamic Revolution of 1979, where the Iranian populace, disillusioned by years of autocratic rule and foreign manipulation, rose to overthrow the Pahlavi dynasty, ushering in an Islamic republic under the leadership of Ayatollah Khomeini. The 1953 Iranian coup is thus a pivotal event in the annals of modern history, a testament to the intricate web of international relations and the far-reaching consequences of foreign interventions. It delineated a path that saw Iran transform from a nation nurturing democratic principles to one marked by authoritarian rule and deep-seated mistrust towards Western powers. Through its reverberating impacts, The coup illustrates the complex interplay of nationalism and global power dynamics, and the profound implications it can have on a nation's trajectory, shaping its destiny for generations to come. Number 10. The Turkish military coup, 1980. In the annals of modern Turkish history, the year 1980 marks a profound rupture, a period characterized by a sharp turn from democratic processes to military rule, which sought to reinstate order amidst escalating chaos. The Turkish military coup of 1980, spearheaded by General Kenan Evren, emerged as a decisive intervention at a time when Turkey was engulfed in political violence and economic instability, grappling with deep-seated divisions that threatened to tear the fabric of the society asunder. The years leading up to the coup were marked by heightened tensions between various political factions, including right-wing nationalists, left-wing activists, and Islamic fundamentalists, each vying for power and influence within the fractured political landscape of Turkey. The nation witnessed unprecedented levels of violence, with daily clashes, assassinations, and terrorist attacks becoming commonplace. The economy was in shambles, further exacerbating the societal unrest and disillusionment that permeated the country. With the political leadership unable to forge a path to stability, the military, which had historically positioned itself as the guardian of Turkey's secular and unitary state principles, decided to step in. On the dawn of September 12, 1980, the military executed a well-planned coup, swiftly taking control of key governmental and media installations, arresting political leaders, and imposing martial law across the nation. The 1980 military coup stands as a critical juncture in Turkish history, a moment that reshaped the political, social, and economic contours of the nation. It left a lasting imprint on the Turkish psyche, instilling a deep mistrust and fear of political instability, and a complex relationship with democratic governance. As the years have unfolded, the legacy of the coup continues to be a subject of intense debate, a reflection on the complex interplay between democratic aspirations and the mechanisms of power and control in the modern nation-state.